Big Dog here. Good morning. I think I pretty well finished accessorizing my 2019 Royal Enfield Himalayan. I've been fiddling with it for quite a while since I've had it, and I just returned from me and my wife were down along the Mexican border all winter, and I took my Himalayan with me, and I also took my Honda 250 Rally sitting on there with me. So I put a couple thousand miles on this bike down there, and so far it's been absolutely flawless. I've really enjoyed the bike, and I've owned probably a good 70 motorcycles in my life, because motorcycles is all I've ever done in my life. I don't have any other hobbies, none. I don't golf, I don't gamble, I don't watch sports, I don't do none of that stuff. It's always been just motorcycles. That's all I've ever done, and I've sure enjoyed it all my life. And this bike might be the most unusual bike that I've owned in all these years of riding. It's a kind of an old school bike, I guess you could say. And so far that thing has been really flawless. So anyway, I'm going to kind of show you all I've kind of done to this thing, and I'll kind of tell you what I think of it, and maybe compare it to some other bikes. And keep in mind that I use a lot of sarcasm when I talk, and if you got a bad attitude, you might think I'm a butthole. But if you got a sense of humor, I'm sure you'll see through that. But I think it's all good. It's all good. So let's get a little closer look at this bad boy. I've done so much to this bike, I don't even know hardly where to start. But instead of starting in the middle, why don't we start at the front? And we'll go to the rear. I think I got this off of Amazon. It kind of looks like it's really well made, kind of a fancy looking thing. And I think Touratech would sold that. I'd bet about a $300 item there, but I think it was about 20 bucks on Amazon, and it does really well. And it goes up and down and tilts, but I can't tell you the exact product because I forgot. But it's doing a real good job, and I look over way up here, so it's not on my line, not line of sight at all. And I can take it off real quick with some Allen screws back here if I want to. And right below that, I have stuck an LED light bulb in there just to free up some watts on the charging system, because I'm thinking it's like 220 watt output, which is good enough for me. I don't have any problem with it. Okay, let's stick with the front here. That's a brand new Tusk 120/90, I believe, 21-inch tire, which I've hadn't really used it at all, but it's a very aggressive looking tire. I bought it, got a front and a rear, very aggressive looking. And I thought at slow speeds, and just moving real slow, I thought these tires would rumble or feel funny, and they don't. They feel as smooth as a street tire. Which I was just amazed. Got a single disc up front, and this bike does have ABS, front and rear. You can't turn it off, but for my riding style at my age, that's just fine. Got an oil cooler. Some older Himalayans didn't have the oil cooler, but now they got an oil cooler on them now. I installed a Sacra Pro Bend hand guards. I bet I have bought 50 of these over the years. I really, really like it. Got double take mirrors. This bike has a left-handed thread on the right-hand side, so if you order these, just order them for what would fit a WR250R Yamaha, and you'll get just exactly what you need to mount them. You'll get a left-handed adapter, and then a little riser for the left side to balance out the height. I think I've got these things on all my bikes. Got them on my Honda Rally over there, and got them on my CB500X over there. Got Oxford heated grips. I think I've got that on all three of my bikes. I'm down to 3 bikes right now. Poor guy, ain't I? I've wired them straight to the battery, and reason I did that, it was the easiest. Then these grips, when you turn them on, if the motor's not running, they will quickly shut off all by themselves. I didn't trust them when I first bought them. I didn't trust that at all. But it's never failing. So you can wire the direct to the battery if you want to. Most people, they're not comfortable with that, but I am, and it was just a little easier for the circumstance. And anyway, they're awesome. It's got a Garmin Rams mount up here for my GPS. I got 2 GPSs that I use. I got a Garmin Montana and a Garmin 276CX SX. Either one will flop in that mount. And my Rally over there has and my 500 over there has the exact same thing, so I can swap them out as I please. What else we got up here? These racks on this bike are just awesome. These steel racks on here, they're really neat. I guess it gives you a little bit of crash protection on your gas tank and stuff. But I found these bags online. They're a roll top bag that fits. It's made for that rack, and it's a roll top bag, and it's totally waterproof. They weren't that expensive. I think they're a little over $100. And man, I love them things, and they're pretty spacious. A lot of Wolfman stuff on here. I'm still waiting for my check from Mr. Wolfman. This is just, I can't remember the size, this tank bag, what it is right now, but it's the one bigger than the Enduro. I'm not sure they make this bag anymore. Now they went to one it's just about like, except it's made waterproof. But this one, you have to put a cover over it to be waterproof. I got a plug down here. It goes straight to the battery. That's to power, mainly it's to power my heated vest. But I also use adapters I can put in there. I can charge my phone, my camera, a couple different cameras I got. I can charge it all off of right there. So that's really handy. This bike comes with some things you just don't always get with the bike. One thing, you don't always get a skid plate. This one comes with one. You don't always get a center stand. Fact is, maybe you just hardly ever get a center stand. This comes with a really nice heavy duty, and it comes with a very nice sturdy kickstand. I've had 4 or 5 KTMs that came with a nice kickstand. Unfortunately, within 100 miles, they broke off. I don't think you're going to break this one off. It's seat stock on there right now. I don't know if I'll ever change that or not. It's going. I'm liking it pretty well. I may get a seat concepts for just the front because it's a 2-piece seat. It has a 4.6 gallon gas tank. Computer says it's getting 65 miles a gallon, but I think it's actually getting about 60, 62. And that figures out to like 270 miles. So that, I don't need a bigger tank. That's one thing I really like about this bike. Most bikes I've bought, I had to buy a bigger gas tank. Because where I go, I gotta have one, and I will not carry gas. You see all these guys wearing these roto packs and crap. You'll never see me with one on my bike. For one, it takes up valuable packing space. and it puts weight where I don't want it. Get a big tank if you have to and be done with it. Don't be strapping gas all over your bike. You don't have to do that. These racks are Royal Enfield racks. Took me forever to get them, but I finally got them. I didn't have them while I was down south, so I had to do without. And right now I've got some old Wolfman Expedition bags on there. I think they're 18 liters per side. But I have the option of popping them off. And I've got them mounted. I'm not going to hardly explain the way I got it mounted on there, because I don't think you could see how I did it anyway. But anyway, there's no over-the-seat strap. There isn't one. And I really like it. And I can pop these suckers right off. And if I want to go a little bigger, I can use these Rocky Mountains. And I have decided, I had these Moscow Moto Backcountry 35s on my Africa Twin and went to Alaska with them. And that was an option of putting them on this bike, and I think I could have done it, but I think the bags they just kind of overwhelm the bike. They're just, you know, they're for to me a much bigger bike. I had a Wolfman Wolftail on here, but since put this Pelican Storm case. It's a 2300 model, and this stays on here all the time. In fact, as I bolted it on, I got no reason to take it off, none whatsoever. So it's just gonna stay on there no matter what. I can pop my saddlebags off if I want. And when I get set up for camping, the only thing different you would see on the bike when I go traveling and camping is I'll put my tent right across here and pack everything else, you know, wherever it needs to go. When you put these racks on, it moves your turn signals back, because they were way up in there, and it moves them way back here where you can see them. Also, it's supposed to move the taillight back some, but they sent me the wrong brackets, so I think the taillight's going to stay where it's at. And you can see this Tusker tire. Now, Tusk doesn't make a 120 in a 17-inch. As far as I know, they don't. So I don't like to go bigger with tires. I used to, when I was inexperienced and young whippersnapper racing around and slinging mud, I used to put the biggest tire I could get on. That's not a good idea. This puts more weight on everything, and it's not designed for the bike. But I couldn't get a 120, so I had to put that 130 on there. And it's okay. It's got clearance and everything. So it's going to be all right. I'm going to keep the stock exhaust. I'm not interested in making any louder whatsoever. The motor is a fuel-injected 5-speed. And, you know, with a 5-speed transmission, you know, you could have a bike that the gears are not spaced very well. These are spaced very It's a 2-valve head, and the valves you adjust with they're threaded adjusters. Now, you millennials may not know what the hell a threaded valve adjuster is. I'm telling you, that's a cast, man. You can adjust these valves on the side of the road with a 2x4 and a rock. It's awesome. Another thing, you millennials, and especially you post-millennials, well, you know, you millennial guys probably know what a spark plug is. But a spark plug is right there. On your millennial bike, you can't see your spark plug. Not only you can't see it, it takes a 12-hour day and a snap-on toolbox full of tools to get the freaking spark plug out, if you've got the knowledge to know how to do that. If you fill your bike full of water, you're going to have to assemble the whole bike and turn it upside down. I've done that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Put the spark plug out there where you could see it. What a revelation. What a revelation. Excuse my sarcasm. Speaking of sarcasm, you see them two fenders there? There's two of them. What were they thinking? I think they thought, trying to appeal to BMW riders, put an extra fender on there. I think that's what they're doing. My buddy sells these Himalayans. I'll not mention any names, Tom. In his BMW shop in the city near me. And he said he's going to start selling these at the BMW shop. I says, Tom, you can't sell these bikes in a BMW shop. What the hell was you thinking? He said, well, why not? I says, they don't cost enough. That's why. I thought that's funny. I don't know about you. What else we got on here? I ain't done, am I? My God, I think I just about am. The thing, it's extremely smooth running motor. I'm telling you this, and you're probably going, oh, bull crap, Big Dog. How can that old antique motor run smooth? Well, it does. It's real torquey. It feels like it's got a huge flywheel, and it doesn't shudder. You get her down to like 1500 RPM and throttle off, and it doesn't shake and shudder, which, you know, man, for a single, there's just not many bikes to do that, you know, at all. It just kind of just takes right off, you know. If you bought this bike to go, you know, want to ride 90 mile an hour going on the interstate, you bought the wrong motorcycle. Slow the frick down. Truthfully, you can call me an old fart, but if I get riding over 55 mile an hour, even on pavement, it don't take me long, and I am bored to death. Absolutely bored to death. I can't see nothing, and I like to look at stuff, and I just get bored as heck. So this bike, I don't know how fast it'll go. I never will know. It'll probably run 85 or something, I'm guessing, but you'll never see me going that fast on it. That's for you working guys. Gotta go fast, gotta get somewhere. Run. What a beautiful machine. If you don't know what this machine can do, there's a gal on the internet. Get on YouTube and do a search for Itchy Boots. Gal has ridden her Himalayan all over the world by herself. She's always by herself. She's just amazing, just absolutely amazing. I'm so impressed with this gal. Right at this very moment, she's with this COVID-19 going on. She's holed up in Peru, I think. No, she just left Peru. She went to the Netherlands. That's where she's at. Not that I pay any attention to it. It's a low RPM motor. See, red line is, oh yeah, look at this nice dash I got. Red line, 6,500 RPM. And a $2,000 you can just motor off, and I usually never get it over $4,000. You can always short shift it. There's just no reason to wind it up. Got a really nice fuel gauge. Tachometer. There's all kinds of doodads in here. God, I love this dash. Man, it's super nice. You got the clock in there. You got a temperature gauge. You got a odometer and resettable odometer. You know, trip A, trip B, and all that kind of crap. And you got a gear indicator there. And the gas gauge works really well. The compass, that's all I got to say about that compass. I have to laugh every time I look at it. Enough said. Anyway, I'm really liking the bike, so we'll see how it holds up. I give way less than $5,000 for this thing. I'm not rich, but I can afford to have any motorcycle I want. You know, and I've just been a poor working guy, you know, worked by the hour all my life. But the reason I can do that is I've just not done a lot of stupid stuff, you know, like spending my money on liquor, and I know I get the thumbs down on that, you know, cigarettes, and I've never got divorced and had to start all over. I bought one house, I've never bought another one. I've only bought one brand new four-wheel vehicle in my entire life. I'm 60, I'll be 70 years old here real quick. That's the only thing I bought brand new. I've never owned a new car. Never wanted one. Never needed one. I'm a motorcycle rider. Oh, forgot to tell you. Another bonus here. How many bonuses are to this bike? See them forks? Most of the time when you buy a bike, they got upside down forks on them. And then you got to flip them over. Well, Royal Enfield has put them on the right way right out of the gate. So you don't have to flip them. They're already right side up already. So I like that. I really like that. Been fiddling around here with my 500 in here. Just change the oil on it a little bit. Anyway, we'll not get into that bike. Yeah, that's just an ordinary bike. Itchy Boots wouldn't have one of those. Well, I guess I'm about done. I hope you've appreciated my sarcasm. Big Dog out.